Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. I got something
That's
for
amazing.
him.
I love that.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Tuesday night on A2D Radio means Lazy Booking Podcast, coming at you live on Niche Night. Happy to welcome back our guest this week. I'm Chrome, joined as always by my guy Eric Archer. What's up, brother?
What's happening? Did anything go on the last couple of days? I'm not sure. You need to catch me up to speed.
Well, we'll catch everybody up to speed, and we are happy to welcome back the one and only, the creative genius himself, who had quite a week this week, Mr. Vince Russo. What's up, brother?
Woo!
What is going on, my friends? How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, man.
Good. I hope you got those boo birds ready.
Oh yeah, boo birds are always ready, man. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure they're warmed up. Let's see.
Have them queued up, brother. Listen.
Here we go.
Beautiful.
Love having them. Well, we heard a lot of that this week. Let's show a little love to our sponsor before we dive into it at Specialized Physical Therapy, Dr. Paul Vidal, our doctor. You can find him at Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. So any aches, pains, long-lasting issues, anything brand new, please contact him and his award-winning team. They'll take a look at you and get you set to go in the right direction to get yourself feeling back at your peak performance. What a week. I got to tell you, Vince, since last week when we had you, brother, I mean, fire last week. And we dropped some clips throughout the week of things that you said. And I got to tell you, especially the night after Saturday night's main event, a lot of the stuff that you put out with Triple, I mean, it went flying. When you talk to, and I got to tell you, before we dive in here, one of the things that really stuck in my head, and like me and Eric were texting about it, of course, the intro, the cold open for Saturday night's main event has whose voice doing the intro.
Yeah.
And immediately I text, I said, I can't get it out of my head what Vince said because he's 100%. I didn't think about it. But dude, you were spot on with it. You were on fire last week. We're excited.
Yeah, listen, there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here. And guys, I have to, man, I want to share something with you, man. I gotta go to my mail real quick with you because I guarantee you have not seen this and you guys will pop huge. Yeah, let me just stall for a little bit of time before I'm trying to get to my mail. I don't know why.
You're good. While you're doing that, I'll say hello to everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Make sure we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, and please, most importantly, we got Vince here. We're going to pull your comments up on the show. Join the conversation. Put your comments in, your questions in. We're going to talk about the John Cena controversial ending to the retirement at Saturday night's main event. Maybe where is his legacy at? And we're also going to talk about JCW, which has had another fantastic week. We're going to dive into all of Vince's projects right now and everything he's working with them. What's the future look like? We want to talk about that, as well as maybe a few firing points in a segment we call Hot Tag, where we just kind of throw out some random stuff and have a conversation about it.
And we want to join the conversation. We want to thank you all for last week. All the interaction, engagement. It's awesome. Bring it on again this week. We love it and ready to go. Let's do it.
Hold on. All right, guys, you got to let me get the volume on this. I think you guys got to pull it up, bro. Play this clip with the audio.
Joe Bruce.
No, wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Wait a minute.
25.
I gotta kill audio on another channel. Hold on for a second.
He's got it. You got it.
All good.
Okay, I got that dead. Okay, hold on. Let me go here. Let me come back to you guys. Hold on. I hate when I got. Okay, you guys. I gotta play this clip, right? All right, listen to this clip, guys. Watch this freaking clip.
Gunther, before we say goodbye, I hear since it is the holiday season, you brought a gift over here to First Take. What'd you bring?
Yes, very true. I got sent here with a gift. This is a beautiful piece of WWE memorabilia. I think it's a used sledgehammer by Triple H. So from Triple H, Nick Khan, and all your friends at WWE.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, bro, are you effing kidding me? So Gunther is on Stephen A. Smith to promote Saturday night's main event. It's Cena's last match, and freaking Triple H shoehorns himself into that. You mean to tell me, bro, you're not going to give Stephen A. Smith a piece of memorabilia from John Cena? These are a pair of shorts that Cena wore. You know what I'm saying, bro? This guy is. I did a show today, and bro, listen. I swear to you, at this point with Triple H, when it comes to ego, bro, he has far and away surpassed everybody. I'm talking Hogan. I'm talking Flair. He is eons above everybody when it comes to this guy's ego, bro. I swear to God, it's to the point that it's almost like a Christopher Guest movie. I mean, every time this freaking guy turns around, bro, you guys saw the end of Cena. Where is he? He's up on the apron pointing to, oh my God, bro. Can you imagine if Vince Russo were doing all this stuff, opening up the trading cards with Sam Roberts, and my voiceover is all like, can you imagine if it were me doing this stuff? Man, bro, this guy, I'm really at the point where it's like, dude, you got issues. Like you've really got issues to have to constantly be putting such a spotlight on yourself. Bro, you've got deep issues, bro.
I almost wonder if it comes from the fact that he didn't get the retirement that everybody else is getting, right? Because of the medical issue. This is not an excuse by any means, because you're right. There's a lot of self-serving that's been going on. And I do see it a lot more too after our conversation last week. And I did feel like it was very like self-deprecating or self-serving to come out and do the whole pomp and circumstance. And the same thing can be said after WrestleMania 40, right? Comes out with Cody when he has his moment in the ring.
What about Boston? What about Boston? When he's standing in the ring the entire time with John Cena. I mean, bro, it's situation after situation after situation. He does the voiceover for the WrestleMania spot for the guys, and then he does it for the girls as well. Like, why didn't Trish Stratus, do the voiceover for that spot? That should have been a female voice doing that voiceover. It's, bro, honestly, the guy's got deep rooted issues at this point.
Do you think it's I know we talked about what it's stemming from, but do you think, and I heard you talk about it on one of the shows this week, do you think it would be beneficial for them to lean into this heel character? Like the first guy that walked out when Cena retired, it was him and Stephanie hand in hand. Do you and he got the booze on the post show, and he's it should have been louder. Do you think it would be beneficial for them to capitalize on this, or do you think it's kind of been used already? And
no, I think that's the only thing that could save it, and I think that's the only thing that can save him. I really do, because I got to tell you, man, when you've gotten to the point now where, okay, bro, this isn't Vince Russo just saying it. Now your own fans are saying you effed up, bro. That's the beginning of the end. That's the beginning of the end, when your own fans are turning on you. So if I were him, bro, I would do that in an absolute heartbeat. I would do that in a heartbeat. And guys, guess what? Now the mystery is over, bro, because there was all that talk about why Cena's final match wasn't in Boston. And the story was because the WWE wanted the building to pay extra money for it, and the building said no. Bro, that's bullshit. They knew what this finish, he knew what this finish was going to be all along. Bro, could you imagine if this finish would have took place in Boston? Can you imagine if this finish would have taken place in Cena's hometown? Bro, they would have rioted. They literally would have rioted. That was nothing what we saw on Saturday night. If that was in Boston and that was the finish, forget about it, bro. That's why the match wasn't in Boston.
Oh, it would have been absolutely insane. And they did. They took advantage of it as if it was like a bidding process. Like we're talking about bidding for WrestleMania and the Super Bowl. Which part of me says I can't blame them for that, because it's a huge thing that people obviously wanted their city to partake in. I do think it's a huge missed opportunity. But again, if that finish happens in Boston, like we talk about One Night Stand against Rob Van Dam and how that was kind of an iconic scenic moment, right? And one of the more visceral crowd reactions of all time. I mean, they legitimately might have rioted. This might have been horsemen inside the cage breaking Dusty's leg level of rioting.
Yeah, no, absolutely, bro. And that's why this had never happened before, where, okay, bro, this is a special night and we want X amount of dollars extra from the arena. This is the first time that ever happened. And that's why. That is exactly why, bro. They had to come up with some kind of reason and some kind of situation for that last match not to be in Boston, because they knew what they were going to do. That would, oh my God, bro. Triple H would have had to crawl under the ring if that was in Boston.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Do you think that's Nick Khan, or do you think that's further up from him, or do you think it's just all of them conglomerate? Like, we're just seeing the dollar signs. We want to go where someone's going to pay for it.
Nah, well, bro, in this case, there is no way anybody can look at Cena's farewell tour and ask the question, okay, who was in charge of creative? Who was behind that? Triple H. Fine. There's no way anybody can look at that and say, this guy should not be fired. Bro, when you look at the last year of John Cena, bro, what was the John Cena highlight? He got killed by Brock Lesnar. He lost his last two matches on the way out. Even when he won the title, it was because of Travis Scott. Then they did that horrible heel turn. What was Cena's moment in this last year? Beating AJ Styles? I think he beat Jey Uso. Those were the moments. And then, bro, Triple H is going to sit there and talk about a time-honored tradition. Bro, a time-honored tradition is you put the guy over on the way out. Not two guys over. He lost his last two matches. Bro, nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever done that. What they've done in the past is they've built somebody, and then the guy on his way out does the favor. That's the way it's done. First of all, they never built Gunther. Never built him. He won a freaking tournament. And then you beat Cena his last two matches. Bro, somebody needs to be fired over that. Somebody's going to sit there and tell me Vince McMahon would have booked Cena this way?
Yeah. I think so. Let's get into the topic because we're in it, right? You kind of already touched on it. Let's jump in. Our agree to disagree for the night, and everybody wants to jump in. Please do. WWE having John Cena tap out to Gunther was the right decision. Agree or disagree, and wherever you guys are at, please drop your comments in. Comments again, as last week are already starting to fly in. But I think you've been touching on it, Vince. But Your thoughts on that? I'm sure you're going to disagree with this.
Bro, the guy built a 25-year career of never give up. When you talk John Cena, one of the first things you think about off the bat are all the Make-A-Wish kids. Bro, that's where never gives up come from. Is dealing with kids that have terminal illnesses and they're going to die. And my God, bro, he's met with thousands of kids over his career, spreading that message, never give up. And in his very last match, he gives up. Yeah. So you're telling those kids that, hey, you know what, guys, like, let's be honest, eventually you're going to give up. In life, you're eventually going to give up. Bro, that was so clearly the wrong finish without a shadow of a doubt. And I don't care what anybody says. I 1,000,000% hold Triple H responsible for that. Because let me tell you this, bro. Everybody knows like Cena's got a reputation of being a nice guy and what puts everybody over and this, that, and the other thing. Great. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. If Cena pitches that, if he's the one pitching that, bro, somebody's got to be there saying, John, we appreciate that. It ain't happening. Okay, bro. And I'll be honest with you. I would believe that Cena pitched that thinking somebody else was going to say that. Thinking somebody else was going to say, John, we appreciate that. We know what you're trying to do, but we can't do that. And nobody said anything, bro. And that was 1,000,000,000% the wrong finish. And it was a finish for Triple H to make sure the John Cena legacy is not going to be greater than his legacy. And bro, that's what this entire thing was about. Because if it wasn't about spite and jealousy, then literally Triple H is a moron. And he's not qualified for the job. It's that simple. So, bro, it's one of two things. You either did this whole thing on purpose, or, bro, you are not qualified for this job whatsoever. And I want to believe it's not the latter. I don't think Triple H is stupid. I think Triple H knows exactly what he's doing, and he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, my initial reaction, so I don't think it was necessarily the wrong decision to lose. I saw the story. I would make the argument. Now, again, there's going to be a different ending to this, but I would make the argument, right? We talked all week last week about story and consistency in story. And then when I sit and I hear John Cena say, I'm going to ruin wrestling. And all week he talks on Pat McAfee about how, Pat McAfee and ESPN, all these different networks about how, the character is coming to an end, but the man still moves on. So when I look at the story, this might have been the most consistent story in the beginning. He says, I'm going to go till the end of this. He ends up winning this title. He's going to do what he has to do. He's going to be desperate. He's going to go around. He wins the title. He's going to ruin wrestling. And I do feel like when you look at the commentary, wrestling defeated or wrestling killed sports entertainment, right? I felt like I felt like he was telling us it was going to be Gunther, and Gunther was going to go over all along if you really start to look at a lot of the context clues through. Now, the road there was all over the place. I mean, this is GPS taking you up and down hills and all around and trying to detour all over the place. I think we got there. And initially, when I saw how it ended, it was almost kind of foreshadowing when I heard him talk on McAfee and I heard him talk on Chris Van Vliet about the character is ending, but the man's going to go on. It was like the light switch is on now that this character is done. And that's why he had kind of the face, nothing left in the character, because he talked about how his body can't handle it like it used to. So I just kind of put all those pieces together and I thought it actually told a really beautiful story. But again, after I kind of remove myself and everything that you talked about. It's what does the character mean? And it's the legacy of the character. And I have to agree that the tap out was a terrible, terrible decision. The pass out could have happened. I don't think Cena should have won the match. I think that what you're seeing with Gunther is what you could have got. Like his promo last night on Raw was short and sweet, and then the whole kind of carrying himself with an arrogance in the back around everybody and making the comments and Moxie. You could have did that with the pass out too.
Bro, you could have done that with Gunther pinning him. Bro, think about this. Just think about the WWE is all about moments. They're all about moments. Bro, think about this. You're going into that match, bro, you invite 200 Make-A-Wish kids to sit ringside. Okay? They're there for the entire match, bro. You're getting shots of them throughout the entire match. Bro, Gunther beats Cena. Makes sense, bro. He's younger, he's quicker, he's stronger. Nobody would have a hard time believing that. Okay? He beats him, bro. He outlasts him. Cena's out of gas. Okay? Gunther gets the victory. Realizes the moment like any wrestler would have that this is John Cena's last match. All Gunther's got to do is reach out, help him up, look him in the eye, shake his hand, and walk out of the ring. Now Cena's up. He didn't tap. He didn't pass out. He got beat. Bro, now you let those kids in the ring. And you let those kids share that last moment with John Cena. That was John Cena's career. The kids, the Make-A-Wish, don't ever give up. That's the scene. Bro, there would not have been a dry eye in the freaking house. It would not have hurt Gunther at all. Gunther could have came back the next night when Cena's gone. I told you what I was going to do. I retired. He could have cut the same exact promo and been in the same exact place. This was 1,000% the absolute opposite of what the finish should have been, and freaking Triple H knows it. And shame on him. And I got one thing to say to Triple H, bro. And I'm telling you guys, karma's a bitch, man. Karma is a bitch. And all this stuff, man, is going to come around and bite you in the ass. And the fact that you're getting booed out of the building, bro, Vince Russo isn't the only one that's on to you. You've actually done this so many times that now you've smartened up your own audience to see and understand what you've done here.
Yeah, I agree with both of you in that the finish just wasn't what should have happened. The tap out, just the way it was done, it was just, I think it just not, the nonchalantness of it, the unnecessariness of it, right? But I think I'm seeing a lot of people kind of saying they thought that Cena was going to win this match. I was not one of those. I thought for sure he was not winning this match. I think people thought that because of losing a Survivor Series and like having him lose 2 matches on the way out. And I looking back and saying like I didn't think he needed to win those matches or any of those matches. It just doesn't sit right with me that he not. And I don't know if. I find it hard to believe that he would even sign off on losing unless he was just like, you know what, whatever, let me get out of here. I'm done. I just have a hard time thinking that he would even sign off on losing 2 matches going out, unless, to your point, Vince, it's him being the good soldier. And he's just like, all right, do whatever you want. I'm out of here on the 13th. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's the issue of losing 2 matches on the way out as much as it is because to what Vince said last week, right? They did the fuck finish when it comes to Dominic Mysterio, right? Completely crazily overbooked, but that's what they did because that's what the Judgment Day does. So you have an out with that. But coupling that with how this one finished, that's where the issue comes in because it makes them it it leaves a really bad taste in your mouth. You wanted some kind of a definitive ending, right? You didn't get that with the Dom match. He lost the match. He lost the title. You had the whole big schmaz of everything. You wanted something definitive and in a fashion that was celebratory for the character. So whether that ended up being a victory where he overcomes and he's Super Cena one last time, or you get the pass out where you can you preserve the integrity of the character. At the end of the day, I think that John Cena's character, more than any character in the history of professional wrestling, needed to be preserved. It's the reason they didn't turn him heel all those years, including when he was as hot as can be and as spry as can be. So why on the way out is it all of a sudden okay to completely destroy the integrity of the character?
Because that's how Triple H wants you to remember him. That's why. That's how Triple H wants you to remember, without a shadow. Guys, listen, we've got to go back here a little bit, okay? They had Gunther on a roll when Gunther was champion, okay? Gunther lost to Sami Zayn, bro. Gunther lost to Jey Uso, bro. Those losses are not going to go away. So let me make the comparison to you, okay? Bro, everybody can, and you know, again, keep it simple, stupid. Let's go right to Sylvester Stallone and Rocky. Did Clubber Lang lose a match, lose a fight before he got to Rocky? Did Ivan Drago lose a match before you get to Rocky? That's how you make a guy, bro. If Gunther would have never lost, that would have been one thing. If that run would have never ended where he lost to Sami Zayn and he was done right there. Bro, I don't care who you are. You're not going to rebuild anybody after they lost to Sami Zayn, because I could beat Sami Zayn. So let's be honest. So if he would have never lost and then he's going into that match with Cena, okay, fine. But you beat him, bro, and you didn't beat him just once. You beat him freaking twice. So don't sit there. You think for 1 second people are gonna think Gunther is invincible now because he beat a 48-year-old John Cena? You really think that's what people are going to be? And they're just going to forget losing to Sami Zayn and losing to Jey Uso? And, bro, not only that, let's be honest. You know they're horribly going to book Gunther after this. You know they are. They don't know how to book, bro. They don't have a clue. Triple H doesn't have a clue how to write a wrestling show. So you know, bro, they're going to book Gunther like shit after this.
Well, that's my worry. That's the worry that I have.
Yeah, I think they got off to a good start on Raw, but to your point, it's where do they go from here? It looks like maybe the next guy is AJ Styles. You know, there's some rumors that Brock Lesnar's gonna hang it up next year. Like maybe that's the direction they go, but we shall see. Vince, real quick.
I think Gunther is the beneficiary of it, right? So like that's the direction I feel like you have to go. If Brock's retiring, it has to be Gunther. If AJ's retiring, it has to be Gunther.
Did we not do that with freaking Randy Orton? Have we not done that story? Have we not done that storyline before? We've done that exact freaking storyline, bro. So Gunther's beating old guys? Like that's what's getting him over? He's beating old guys? Cena's what? How old is Cena?
47, I think.
AJ's that age. Brock Lesnar is 45? So Gunther's beating old men, and that's what's going to get Gunther over?
It seems that way. I mean, but where can you go? I mean, they backed it into a corner. That's the direction.
They can go nowhere, bro, because they don't know how to make stars. They don't know how to make stars. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. So okay, have Gunther beat old men. And that'll be why he's over, because he's beating guys that he's freaking 10 years younger than. Okay, that makes sense.
Vince, I know on other podcasts you've talked about Cena before this final match being on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. Does this match and the retirement tour and how it panned out, does that take him off of the Mount Rushmore, or do you think he's still
bro,
there?
your wrestling fans, bro, are always good. Not wrestling fans in general, bro. In general, you're always going to remember the last thing you see. Bro, I remember, you know, bro, listen, I'm going back a long time now, but I remember, you know, bro, you know, I was a huge fan of Willie Mays. Willie Mays overstayed his welcome, bro. And in 1973, when the Mets played the A's in the World Series, Willie Mays was horrible. And that's how a lot of people remember Willie Mays. They forget that the unbelievable career this guy had, 660 home runs. They remember that last year. And that's why I'm saying, bro, this was clearly a way for Triple H to put a kink in the armor. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, I do think that time will do John Cena a lot more justice than the one moment, but there are a number of moments through this that are going to be very difficult, I think, for people to get past, because you are right. When you talk about, there's always a recency kind of a bias. When you look at things and you say, okay, you know, me and Eric and certain people who are big time followers and long time, there are certain other moments that you go back and you listen to or you watch and you remember and you say, okay, I can separate this from that. But in a business model where the casual fan is what the target audience, and the kids are the target audience to bring in, because that's more of a mass majority of a fan base. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, they used ESPN and all these different platforms to bring in fresh eyes to people who may know John Cena but have never seen him wrestle. And then that's the lasting legacy that you kind of left with the character. And it's tough to see that.
Yeah. Bro, I agree with you 1000%.
Vince, you've been doing a lot of really good stuff with JCW, brother. And it's been very exciting to see what I would call an alternative or a different version of professional wrestling that has a throwback feel to it, right? So we've talked to a number of NWA superstars on here. And I think what's super appealing about the NWA is it does have a very traditional feel, but a fresh feel to it. And when you talk about JCW, I know Eric, before we jumped in here, was talking about this week's episode.
Love your office, by the way. The bar.
Yeah. Listen, brother, you could see your fingerprints all over the product. And I mean that as a compliment, very, very complimentary. I want to ask for you to join the Insane Clown Posse and to jump into this world in the capacity that you are. What is it like to work with those guys and that situation and kind of reinvent, you know, another alternative of wrestling again?
Yeah. Well, I want to make one thing clear, because a lot of people, I don't think, understand this, and I didn't even really know this going in. Shaggy is not involved with the wrestling at all.
Okay.
Shaggy's not there. He's not going to be written in. Shaggy's had a lot of bad injuries, and you know, Shaggy wants to stay away, and that's good. Kind of like me with Ed Ferrara. You know, Ed's been done with wrestling for a long time, and I respect that. So it's Violent J. It's really working with Jay. And man, I just got to tell you, from a writer's point of view, when you got a guy that has created just an entire roster of these unbelievable characters that they're already ready to go, the look, you know, who they are, the stories. When somebody just hands that over to a writer, bro, that's like that's like just, you're in a candy store, man. He did all the work. He created all these characters. Now it's just a matter of me as the writer to put these characters in storylines and situations. But man, bro, he did all the heavy lifting. He's created some unbelievable characters. I love working with all of them. And bro, let's make one thing as clear as possible. This is not professional wrestling. This is sports entertainment. This is not professional wrestling. And guys, I'm going to tell you something that has been a fact since 1995. So this has been a fact for 30 years. Bro, when we run these shows an hour and a half, I get a graph of the peaks and valleys of the show from beginning to end. And bro, when you look at this graph, every time there is a wrestling match in the ring, it is a valley. As soon as we go to the back, it is a peak. We go back to a wrestling match, it's a valley. 1,000%. There is no exception. No matter who's in that ring, there is no exception. And I don't know if you guys saw this last week's show, but the end of the show was the tease that if Jasmine St. Clair loses, she's going to have to strip down to her bra and panties. That was the peak of the show.
Yeah.
The most people were watching that at the end of the show. And listen, guys, I am not going to apologize for that. Those are the numbers that I am looking at, that I've been looking at since 1995, and they have not changed. They want a television show. That's what they want. And that's what the WWE doesn't understand. Bro, I did this. I studied this. Bro, the longer matches go on, the more and more the audience disappears. That's a fact. That's I'm not talking opinions here. This is a fact. It has been this way since I got in the game 30 freaking years ago, and it has not changed.
And then you add in 2 3-minute, 4-minute commercial breaks during an 8-minute match, and it makes it really tough.
Exactly. So yeah, bro, make no bones about it. This is sports entertainment.
So I watched the show, and now that you're the primary owner of JCW, what is the vision? What are you looking to accomplish short term, and what are some of the long-term goals?
Bro, the vision is what it's always been for me. Get as many people to watch the show as possible. Get as many people to watch your show as possible. That's what I am there to do. And, I always say next week's show's got to be better than this week's show. The show after that's got to be better than that show. And that's what it is all about for me, to write the best possible show I can and just get as many people to watch it as possible. It's that simple.
I'll tell you, when I was watching it, and I noticed that too, there were more segments than there were matches, and each segment told a different story. Like, you're telling the story of James Storm, you're telling the story of Vito, you're telling a story of Jasmine St. Clair. So each segment has its own independent story that you're telling. And now you're telling the story with Violent J losing. Now he's a wrestler. So I found it to where it's easy to watch, because you're telling a story each way you go, and it really just it was fun. And I have to say I will be watching next week. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Thursday show is really, really, really good, and I could tell you, like, there's a shocker at the end of this week's show. It's a really good show. Guys, you got to understand too, like, this show coming up on Thursday is only my 7th show. I would say by the time we hit the 10th show, we hit our stride. And what I mean by that is, at the beginning, the way it had to work with Violent J was, the way him and I worked was, I was writing all the stories, but he was booking the matches, and the matches were cold. But now, you know, through these weeks, okay, now this story is coming out of this match is coming out of a story. Now we got 2 matches coming out of stories. By the time we get to the 10th show, every single match on that show is related to story. There are no cold matches, and it literally took 2.5 months to get there, to build the stories and to build the characters. But once we got to that 10th show, every single match now is related to stories and characters. Every single match.
Yeah, and you two obviously have a synchronicity that's developing week by week, and you're starting to see how that's starting to come together. How far in advance do you guys write these shows out, or is this we're on the fly and looking at the numbers and seeing what's working?
Yeah, no, I wish it could be that. I wish it could be that, but it's very hard with their schedule. Because what these guys do is they do a wrestling show and then ICP performs right after the wrestling show. Mm-hmm. So when I've got to turn around and write for these guys in January, bro, they're doing 12 straight shows, 12 straight days. Wow. I've got to sit down and write 12 shows. It's very, very, very hard and very difficult. But that has been a model that has been very, very successful for them. You know, combining the music and the wrestling. I'm certainly not going to come in and say, yeah, guys, you can't do this. They know what works. But from a writing perspective, to do 12 wrestling shows 12 days in a row is very, very difficult.
Vince, with the wrestlers that are currently in other companies, is there one guy or one girl that you would just say would be perfect for JCW? It doesn't have to be a current WWE or AEW. Maybe somebody. I know you mentioned Karrion Kross and Scarlett.
Those two, I would love to use Kross and Scarlett. I would absolutely love to use them, bro. In the coming weeks, you're going to see Nick Nemeth. You're going to see Matt Cardona. You know, so we are using a lot of those guys. But I would love to get into Kross's head and work with him.
That'd be awesome.
Oh my God, you guys would be tremendous too together. Yeah, I was going to ask that question. You know, you have some more well-known talent too starting to work with you guys. When you talk about James Storm, Willie Mack, Big Vito, who, by the way, he wouldn't know me like personally. He's a great guy though. He actually, where he lives, and I won't say like specific locations. He lives in the same community as my dad.
Oh, okay.
And on his, what I say it was, Eric, his 59th birthday, I think it was, or something. It was like 2 years ago. I ran into him at the bar in that place and talked to him. We did a shot for his birthday, took a picture with him. And then for the longest time, every time I would see him, he would always say hi and wave to me. So, awesome guy, by the way.
He is an awesome. I've known him a real long time, bro. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, you talk about Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona. When you're talking to this town and you guys are talking about, hey, we'd like to bring in and talk and work with you, you know, what is that like? Because again, we haven't seen this presentation of professional wrestling in, you know, or sports entertainment at this level since the Attitude Era. So, you know, what is it like having those conversations?
Bro, the people that have called and contacted us will blow your mind. And here's what we get. I get this and Jay gets this. This is what everybody tells us. We're watching the show. It looks like a blast. We just want to come and have some fun. I mean, that's from guys. I mean that you would know that have been around. It's we want to come and play in the sandbox, and that's awesome, man. Because I got out of the wrestling business because of the politics. That's why I got out. I had enough. It was enough. I was getting too old for it. I wasn't going to play the game. It was freaking enough. When Dixie got to the point of having Pritchard there and Hogan there and Bischoff there, I was done. And I never, ever thought I was going to go back again. Never wanted to go back again. And again, man, the reason why I really did was because I've known Violent J, bro. I've known him probably since 96. I've known him for a really long time. And I know he's not a political guy. He's not that guy. And the only way this was ever going to work for me was to be working with somebody like him. And that's why, you know, so far we've had a great experience, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very exciting. You hanging on for a few more, Eric? Or you...
Yeah, I got a couple more minutes. Want to switch gears real quick and talk about something you said on Coach and Pro about Cody Rhodes and his suspenders, and it brought up Bob Backlund, which I think he also needs a bow tie as well. Do you have?
He showed up at the Eagles game the other day in a suit, by the way.
Yeah, him and Nikki Bella were at the Eagles game, and she was at the Flyers game, which was funny. They kept her away from DC, but nonetheless, do you have any fun stories about Bob Backlund? It's somebody that myself and Rue will tell you.
Bro,
I put a chicken wing on somebody in middle school, and he dared me to do it. We still talk about Backlund all the time. It was just like an amazing character in the mid-90s.
The freaking Mr. Backlund at the tail end of his career, and I got to produce those vignettes with him. And bro, I would be there with literally tears in my eyes. He was so freaking good, bro, and it was so entertaining. And I never produced him. I'm like, go. And he would go, and oh my God, bro, what an unbelievable experience. I got to bring him down to spring break when all the kids were on spring break. This is about probably 1994. And bro, here's the most unbelievable thing about this. I swear to God, bro, it's 1994. It legitimately is spring break, and it's Daytona Beach, and it's 100 degrees, right? Freaking Backlund, full suit, full wool suit, 9 yards. Bro, he's in full suit, and he put the white shit on his nose. So then, bro, we get to the pool. We get to the pool area, bro. He rolls up his pant legs, sits at the edge of the pool, and puts his feet in the pool. One person comes over, and these are students now. And he starts talking to that student, and another one comes, and another one comes. Bro, I swear to you, he was holding court at spring break, and these freaking drunk, young, partying kids were sitting there listening to every word he said. I will never forget that as long as I live. What a great freaking experience, man.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh my
that's
God.
Awesome.
I loved working with him, man.
Yeah, I mean, I met Bob Backlund in probably about 2013. And it was like a meet and greet thing, and I ended up talking for like 10 minutes. And I have a picture of it. He put me in a chicken wing and said, "Oh, we'll take a picture." And I thought we were just going to pose for it. Well, no, he locked it in on me. And it hurt. Like,
fight it.
No joke. Yeah. I mean, you could see in the picture, it looks like I'm not posing. That is actual pain. But it was just so on brand with the character and the personality. And I talked to him for like 10 minutes. He was really such a great guy.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when he got Louis G and Frito in that chicken?
Oh, yeah. He had him like a rag doll.
He was my assistant editor. I mean, that like was a shoot. Can you imagine if the fans today saw that? Like, what would they think? Like, what would they think if they saw something like that?
Oh, it'd be wild. It would be absolutely wild. And this was back in the Vic Venom days, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Which I to this day, I started to recollect the old WWF magazines, and I go through and I look and I read some of that old stuff in the Vic Venom. I mean, for us, you know, I was in my pre-teens, teenage years. That was a dirt sheet for me. Bro,
I'll be honest with you. That was the beginning of the Attitude Era. There's no question about that. Vic Venom and the stuff I was saying in the magazine was really the beginning of the Attitude Era.
Oh, it was tremendous. And we didn't have to call a 900 hotline either to get
Yeah.
Eric, what else you got there, bud?
No, I'm going to drop, but Vince,
Okay.
I want to just thank you for joining us, and we hope we have you back. You know, and we really appreciate it, and this has been fun. Off to the Chorus concert I go.
No, take care, man. Take care.
Right, out of the family. But yeah, I wanted to give him a chance if he had another question. I did want to ask you, so obviously in the Attitude Era, I mean, you talk about the evolution of WrestleMania, right? And the characters that developed in that. And we talk about WrestleMania 14 and the rise of Austin, and then with the iconic match between Rock and Austin, their first face-off at WrestleMania 15 when you were there. Can you talk about your experience of WrestleMania and the rise of, we'll say, Steve Austin specifically, right? Through 13, 14, and 15, and what it was kind of like to be a part of writing those moments at WrestleMania that made, you know, arguably the most popular character of all time.
Bro, I got to tell you this, and this is so hard for people to believe, but this is the God honest truth. Bro, WrestleMania was just another show.
Mm-hmm.
It was just another show. It really was. I mean, because we were more like, you know, for us, you know, WrestleMania is the end of the story. Like, we're done with it. We know, you know, we're more focused on the next night. Because, you know, Monday Night Raw is a brand new chapter. We are more focused on that than WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is we're at the end of the story. These are the finishes. You know, we know that we got to start thinking about, you know, the next cycle. So I swear, bro, like WrestleMania was really just another show. I mean, my first one that I worked was WrestleMania 10. And I was an official employee of the company at that time. That was the first one I worked. But, you know, after those, bro, when I was involved in the writing and the creative, it was really just another show, really.
Yeah, I would imagine too, because you're right. It's like the season finale, and then the next night, though, there's no break. You go right into the season.
That's it, man. That's exactly it. 1000%. And that show after WrestleMania, that Raw, bro, that's your most important Raw of the year. Because you know you're going to have a huge audience turning in to see the fallout from WrestleMania, and you got to hook those people. So you know you're going to have a huge audience, and you've got to go balls to the wall to keep that audience coming back. So the Monday after is really the biggest show of the year.
Yeah, particularly at that time too, because you didn't have all the internet clips. I mean, I know you had the Sunny in '95 most downloaded superstar and all that, but you didn't have the YouTube clips, and for the people who couldn't afford to pay the $19.99 or whatever WrestleMania's price point was at that time, it was, I need to tune in because I need to see the stills that they would put up of WrestleMania.
Yep. All they would do is put up stills, 1000%. Yep.
Yeah, you would put the stills up, and then that would be what would hook people to stay to your show. And you remember that being so important. So yeah, those shows were really tremendous. Kind of fast forward a little bit. Just talk a little bit about your time with WCW, right? I mean, we've heard a lot of things. You've participated in, you know, Dark Side of the Ring. Actually, I want to ask about that, because we've had quite a few people on here who have been a part of that, and we always it's something we like to cover as well, right? So, you know, we had Tony Atlas on here when he talked about the episode with Bruiser Brody. You've been a part of a lot of episodes, but just your experience to work with the producers of that show. What was that? What has that experience been? Because you might not be done yet.
Bro, I will tell you this, and I don't want to. They haven't told me to not talk about it, but I don't know if they want me to talk about it. Bro, I just did 5 hours with them about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just did 5 hours with them, a grueling 5 hours. Bro, they've always been great to me. They've always been great to me. They've always treated me well. They've always paid me well. They've always treated me with the utmost respect. I always tell them this, bro, because I don't watch them. And here's why I don't watch them, because wrestlers are full of shit. And I'm not going to sit here and watch you freaking blatantly lie. This is what I've told them, bro. I've told them this too. I said, you guys, you have no idea of who's lying to you and who's telling you the truth. You have no freaking idea. I said, if it's me producing the show, I said, guess what we're doing? When you're sitting somebody down and you're interviewing them, bro, you're hooking their ass up to a lie detector test.
Oh, man, that would be amazing.
Exactly. I said, that's what you're doing. And I said, I'll tell you right now, I will be the first in line. I will be the first in line. I'm like, because you guys, I've watched what I have watched, and I have not watched a lot, but guys are blatantly lying. Like it's a blatant lie. So it's like, what good is it, man? You don't know who's telling you the truth and who's lying. And I said to them, hook us up on a lie detector test. I said, first of all, you wouldn't get half of the people that you get. I said, let's just get that off the bat. There is, you would eliminate half of your phone calls because no way they would do it. Absolutely no way. But at least this way, you're always hearing 10 sides to a story. At least this way, maybe you'll get the truth with some of these stories. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, it's true. Man, you talk about reality television. That would be, I mean, that might be the next thing we need to put on the Russo brand over here.
Yeah.
But no, and I think that what they do really well, is it seems like they try to present all points and all angles without a bias.
Yeah, they're very, very, very thorough, bro. I mean, when you're sitting on the other side of that interview, bro, they ask you everything you can possibly imagine, man. Like it's grueling and exhausting because they don't leave any question on the table, man.
Yeah, you can tell that they really take the integrity of what they're doing to heart and present.
I got a little pissed off with them after the first one. I got a little pissed off at them because the first one I did was Brawl for All. And they tried freaking turning that into a Vince Russo, Jim Cornette angle. And I called them on it. I called them on it. And as a matter of fact, when they call me to do the next one, I said, no. I said, guys, come on, man. After what you did on the first one, you're trying to turn this stupid thing into an angle with me. Like I'm even going to entertain being in an angle with Jim Cornette. and bro, and literally, I'll be honest, man, I quadrupled my price. I said, man, after that experience, if you want me to do it again, this is what it's going to cost. But I will say this, after that, they never pull that again with me. They never did that again because they knew I was pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, and you could see that. You could sense that when you watch that episode. I did feel like it's in terms of say the Bash at the Beach episode, you could tell there was a little more of a neutral. We're telling both sides, and listen, there's a lot of conflicting stories on things, and we'd love to have you back at some point and maybe talk a little bit about that. But you can see the difference in the tone of how that episode went, where it wasn't pinned at you versus Bischoff, so to speak, right? It was a little bit more of we're going to tell our side of the story. Yeah. But this was awesome, man. I'm so glad that we got to have you on these last 2 weeks. I mean, we booked this like a month and a half ago, so what an important 2 weeks to end up having you on here. But we would love to have you back again at some point in the new year, maybe WrestleMania time or some other time. But but again, we've been posting up. We talked a lot about it, JCW and all that. But tell us again where we can find.
Hey guys, I want to tell you this because I on one of my shows today, I watched, and I've seen it about 3 times. I've watched Tony Khan on the Ariel Helwani show. Guys, I am not going to sit here and pull a Tony Khan and say, guys, watch Wednesday night. We did a great show and so had a great match. And then next Monday we got this and this is going to be a great show. No, I'm not going to do that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to watch 2 episodes. And these are not 2.5, 3-hour shows. There may be an hour and 20 minutes. I am going to ask you to watch 2 episodes. And you know what, bro? In those 2 episodes, we're either going to hook you or you're going to turn it off. And that's fine. All I ask is that I've been hearing for 25 years, what happened to sports entertainment? What happened to the Attitude Era? What happened to Crash TV? It's on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern on JCW Lunacy. But here's the bottom line. If you guys don't watch it and you guys don't try it out, it's going to go away. I mean, it's that simple. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you how great it is. I put my money where my mouth is. So all I'm going to ask you to do, there's a brand new episode on Thursday. Just go on YouTube, JCW Lunacy, when 7 o'clock Eastern, and I'm always in the chat room for the first viewing of the show. I'm always in the chat room. But that's all I ask, guys. Check it out and watch it, and we're either going to hook you or we're not. It's really that simple.
Which is awesome that you do. You go in, you live chat with people and talk about the show, which is not something that we can say. You know, it's not a tweet like you see from TK or, you know, it's awesome. And that's the kind of experience I think that a lot of wrestling fans want. And it's a unique thing. Also, we can find you at Patreon.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for putting that up. Guys, if you've never been a brand member, we give you a free week, man. No strings attached. Free week of the brand. You go to patreon.com/Russo TWC. If you like it and you want to subscribe, bro, it's only $3 a month. It's literally 75 cents a week. But you know, my father always taught me, bro, when something's free, take it. So at least go get your free week. You'll get a week of shows, bro. It won't cost you anything.
Yeah, make sure you guys do. Go on, check it out. I mean, and check out all the shows. Coach and Bro. I mean, you're doing such good stuff, I'm telling you, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass either. You know, it's been a while, honestly, outside of certain things like Dark Side of the Ring, where I've really focused in on a lot of your material, and I've really made it a point to over the last 2 or 3 months, which is why I said we gotta have him on.
I appreciate that.
You're just such an honest guy, and whether you're everybody's flavor or not, you stay true to yourself, and that's something to be commended. And again, you know what? Listen. Over the last week, I think a lot of things where people might have said Vince Russo is full of shit. I think after Saturday night, I saw it with my own eyes. A lot of people said maybe the guy doesn't get enough credit for a lot of the things that he says. So we appreciate what you're doing. I'm glad to see you back in pro wrestling. We hope to talk to you again. But in the meantime, brother, best of luck to you with everything with JCW. Looking forward to following it. Have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas to you.
You too, man. I appreciate, man. I had a great time the last couple of weeks, man, and I really do appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Anytime, brother, anytime. But for myself, for Eric, who jumped off, for Vince, for Tom Arnone, godfather of A2D Radio, and everybody out there, for our doctor, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy, make sure you guys get out there. If there's somebody that you love, make sure you give them a hug, tell them you love them. And until next week, we'll talk to you guys soon. Go Birds.